We're back again to look at some more best practices when using Alyvix. This time, let's look at how we should mark up on-screen components when building a single step or transaction. We'll build the first step of a test case, doing it the right way, and again, explaining the why. In the last video, we looked at best practices focused on the operating system and environment, preparing for a new test case, and how to start and end it. We skipped over a lot though, so let's go back and look in detail at the components in that first transaction. We want to look at the correct way to mark up components so that at each step, Alyvix will successfully recognize the key interface elements. But before we start, let's take a quick inventory of the tools Alyvix has for this. On a screen grab, we can use the mouse to add boxes that represent components, change the group by pressing the numbers 1 to 3 on the keyboard, and use mouse actions to modify those boxes. Alyvix has two kinds of boxes: selections, the main head of a group, and sub-selections, the other members of that group. We can create a box by left-clicking and dragging the edges, or let Alyvix do it with the auto contour feature by right-clicking on GUI elements like images, buttons, text fields, or text. Auto contour will try to create the minimal box around that feature. A newly created box will be a selection or a sub-selection depending on whether it's the first element in the current group. The main difference is that sub-selections also have a region of interest, the small outer box that's a bit bigger than the selected area. The ROI shows where the sub-selection can match at runtime, anywhere inside that outer box. The offset of the ROI from the selection is the difference between the upper left corners of these two boxes. But position isn't important between the elements of different groups, so a match will occur in both of these situations. Once you've created selections and sub-selections, how do you change them? You can left-click on the center of a box to drag it around the screen, or on the edge of a box to resize it just in that direction. As a shortcut, you can right-click on the edge of an ROI to extend that side all the way to the edge of the screen. If you do that and then change your mind, you'll have to control left-click on the sub-selection to reset it. The ROI must be larger than its sub-selection box, and you can't go past the edge of the screen, but you can overlap boxes. Note that moving an edge of a sub-selection past its ROI will make the ROI larger as well. So once you've finished marking up the screen grab, what does Alyvix do with it, and how can you influence that? When running a test case at a given moment, Alyvix tries to match your selections and subselections to the interface frame it sees one by one. For the transaction to be considered matched, every component must match before any of their mouse or keyboard actions will be carried out. Groups only add constraints on the relative positioning of components in that group. They don't affect whether the whole transaction counts as matched or not. When running, each frame is scanned just like old CRT monitors used to do, left to right, then top to bottom. The first match it finds will be locked in for that group, which will influence the constraints of that group's subselections. In this example, the target marked B will be found first because it's higher up. Okay, that's it for the review. Now it's time to look at our best practices. When starting with an empty screen grab, the first task is to set an anchor, the selection for the first group, which should be a large image near the top left if possible. It should be something that will always be there, like a logo on a web page, or if not, a window control. Since scanning always goes left to right, top down, this type of graphic will be quickly and easily found, speeding up recognition time. You'll have to start with an image or rectangle component though, because text components can only be sub-selections, never a selection itself, as there are too many potential font faces and sizes for OCR to handle quickly enough. When marking up a selection or sub-selection, your first decision is whether to mark it by hand or auto-contour it. Auto-contour works best when it's a single connected graphic. If the graphic is disconnected, auto-contour will only select a part of it. When auto-contour only selects a limited part of the image, first undo and then try again at a different nearby position. If after repeated tries you still can't get a proper match, press the space bar to see what Alyvix sees. The screen grab goes to grayscale mode, and you can see boxes showing you what auto contour would select if you right-click inside that box. Press the spacebar a second time to go back to regular mode. There are other ways Alyvix can help you if a component you create doesn't match during a run when you think it should. The component parameters include what is considered during the matching process. By default, an image component matches both the colors and the shape of the selection. But you can also match them independently, just color or just shape. An exact match means 90% of colored pixels are the same. A color match means 70% of colored pixels are the same. And a shape match means that 50% of grayscale pixels are the same. Rectangle components that match structures like buttons and text fields are more reliable, especially when someone changes an interface. If, for instance, a website designer later changes the size or color of an image like a logo, you'll have to update the test case by hand to account for the change. Buttons and text fields are recognized by outlines of a certain height and width. If these objects change but stay within their ROI, you won't have to update them. The Monitor tab shows a special ROI for the button and box parameters. Text components only need to be updated if the content changes, because the text recognizer ignores color, size, and font type. Also, remember that the quality of text recognition improves with the amount of text in the ROI, the size of the font, and increased screen resolution. But for text that never changes, like the words that are part of a logo, it's probably better to use an image component than a text component. Now that we looked at components, let's look at a group of components. The ROI of every subselection is offset relative to the position of the parent selection in its group. As soon as a selection is found during the scanning process, its position is fixed, and Alyvix won't look for any other occurrences of that component. Alyvix then scans for the subselections in a group in order within their respective regions of interest relative to where their selection was found. If the ROI isn't positioned correctly, Alyvix won't find that component even if it's just outside the ROI, and the whole transaction will fail. If the selection and all subselections are found, then Alyvix proceeds to the next group. It's especially important to properly size ROIs when GUI elements float. For example, if a window can be resized or if there are a dynamic number of elements in a row. If you're working on a dynamic length list of graphic or text elements like this, or a GUI with a tile approach like this, expand the ROI the length of where items might appear, even if that's to the edge of the screen. Now let's look at multiple groups of components and how they interact. All components in all groups have to match the interface for the current transaction to be successful. But why do we need multiple groups at all? Why not a single large group? That's because the selections are positionally independent of each other, and so their subselections don't have to depend on a single position in the GUI. This is necessary for modern UIs where multiple parts can change position dynamically, such as multiple subpanels, resizable windows, dynamic column and row sizes, and separation of controls from content. So let's look at the right way to mark up this interface. We don't need window controls, so the Trentino logo is the obvious anchor. When we try to auto-contour it, it doesn't select the whole logo. Another try gives us the same result, so let's use the spacebar. You can see there is no single box that fits, so let's do it by hand. We could be on any page here, so let's be sure this is right by first selecting the words Discover Trentino. They could theoretically be anywhere in that horizontal menu, so let's widen the size of the ROI. We need another confirmation, but let's switch to group 2 because these are separate vertical interface elements that may not always be near each other. The first icon auto-contours perfectly. Now we want to go to the data fields, but they're also in a separate area. You can see what happens if we resize the window. The data fields change position relative to the menu items. So let's mark up the label at the top, but it's text, which means we'll have to treat it as an image. The text field is easy because boxes always auto-contour well. Let's head back to Alyvix Editor to set component options. First, let's go to the Monitor tab so we can remember what we marked up. We should change the component type for Discovered Trentino to text, but I want to focus here on the data entry field. Let's change the type of our text field component to rectangle. You can see it changes how the subselection looks, an outline. And if we change it from button to box, it changes the outline again. The edges in a box subselection can change in the interface, but still be matched. That's it for today. Next time, we'll look at what happens after you've marked up the screen grab. Here, though, is our list of best practices from today. See you soon for part 3 in this series.